Hello and welcome to Ukraine Today. I'm Rahim Rahimtullah. In today's press review, we'll look at an issue which is making headlines across the continent, namely the crisis of migrants trying to reach Europe from North Africa. The latest tragedy to unfold involves reportedly 700 migrants who have lost their lives over the weekend when their boat capsized. We turn first to Zoe Williams in The Guardian. She says that politics is to blame for the human tragedy. Political parties talk about migration as something to attract or repel, a tango between economic and political expediency. Human beings have no innate value in this worldview. Williams says that arguments from politicians that cutting back search and rescue operations will discourage illegal migration are false. She says people fleeing chemical weapons and public beheadings, political oppression, civil war and starvation do not emigrate to a place because they've heard good things about its Coast Guard services. Nor do they change their minds when they read that the safety features have had their funding cut. In Time magazine, meanwhile, Vivian Walt fills us in on the political background in Europe which has led to the crisis. First, she reminds us this weekend's huge loss of life is just the latest incident that has now made the Mediterranean the most lethal sea crossing in the world, and by a wide margin. She goes on to describe the situation as it appears from Brussels, the seat of EU policymaking. For the EU, the migrant crisis is emerging as both a failure of policy and of the continent's stated humanitarian values, on which Europe's leaders have long prided themselves. But why isn't more being done? Walt has the answer. She tells us for EU leaders, the risk is that helping thousands of boat people could well be seen as welcoming more immigrants to Europe, a highly contentious issue when right-wing parties have campaigned successfully on border restrictions. Thus, it has taken a tragic incident of as many as 700 deaths to bring the migrant issue once again to Europe's top table. With European foreign ministers meeting in Brussels, the issue is at the top of the agenda. Hopefully, this time a more lasting solution can be found. We'll bring you news of those meetings and more here on Ukraine Today. Join us again tomorrow for another press review.